Developing this evening, SNAP recipients in North Carolina will not receive their full November SNAP payments after a new Supreme Court ruling.
It's been a dry day across the Piedmont Triad, but some of us could see some rain showers this evening. Others could see a thunderstorm. Some actually have the possibility of seeing some severe thunderstorms. We'll talk about that severe weather risk, plus the cold winter blast headed our way for Monday and Tuesday.
Big travel troubles as more flights are canceled, including right here at PTI. But first tonight, just about 4 hours ago, the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services paused plans to issue full SNAP benefits in November. Good evening, I'm Ben Briscoe. The decision comes after a U.S. Supreme Court ruling allowed the Trump administration to temporarily block distribution. Partial benefits were loaded Friday for more than 500,000 households in the state, but some people got as little as $4 for the whole month. Governor Josh Stein called the situation, quote, political chaos and urged for a swift resolution so families can put food on the table. The department says it's ready to issue full benefits once it gets federal approval, but for now, many North Carolinians are left wondering where their money will come from. This as the government shutdown enters day 39, as lawmakers have yet to pass a spending bill. The Senate will remain in session this weekend as Democrats offered to end the shutdown in exchange for a one-year extension of tax credits for health care, a proposal Republicans called a non-starter. This before the Supreme Court granted the Trump administration's appeal to block full SNAP payments.
The crisis is in the administration's hands. It's all them, not anyone else. The minute the administration wanted to, it could find a fix for SNAP and ensure that people don't go hungry.
The Democrat leader's proposal is a non-starter. There's still only one path out. It's a clean funding extension. The House has already passed a clean funding extension.
As the shutdown stretches into its 6th week, pressure is mounting on both parties to reach an agreement. And SNAP payments are either still paused or delayed for millions of families who need them. Many are now forced to ration their food as they wait for lawmakers to settle their differences.
Get the top teeth. That's enough soap. I thought I heard that thing.
Food is the last thing that we should have to be stressed out about.
In Martinsburg, West Virginia, mornings move fast for Onita Norris, a single mom juggling 2 toddlers, a dog, breakfast, and a full-time job. The government shutdown has made life even harder, disrupting SNAP, the federal food assistance program she relies on to feed her kids.
It'll be, meatless meals and things that obviously you can stretch a lot longer. I work 40 hours a week. I work for the state, and I am on government assistance because I am still not making ends meet, unfortunately. It hurts because it's like I don't want to be on it, but I need it.
Norris earns $2,800 a month.
Rent, for instance, $1,475.
After paying bills, she's left with barely $100 for gas and anything else. SNAP, also known as food stamps, added $265 a month to her budget for food.
What is the difference of having this $265 versus not?
Rather than myself having like a full plate of food along with my kids, I'm making sure that they have a full plate of food and their bellies are full, and I may have either less or I may not eat what they are eating just for the sake that they are getting enough.
So mom's having to sometimes skip a meal or curb?
Yes. It feels like I'm failing them because I am trying. I'm trying to do all that I can. And of course, as a human, you get frustrated, and I never want my kids to see that or feel like I'm taking that out on them for something as simple as dinner.
Do you need a gallon of milk?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We visited this food pantry in Berkeley County, a place that's voted for Donald Trump in every election he's been on the ballot. Nearly a quarter of the people here live below the poverty line, and now furloughed federal workers are lining up alongside families who rely on SNAP.
You could see how busy we are. Our waiting room is filled up. We doubled
our typical weekly amount of households.
A judge Thursday said the administration should resume paying the benefits in full. Friday morning, the Trump administration appealed that decision, but by Friday afternoon, the administration said it would pay states the full SNAP payments.
Mama's improvising because I don't want to use up all of y'all's milk.
Families like Norris's are now waiting for the balance to show up on their cards.
I just don't understand how we've come to a point where we're using food in politics and being essentially political pawns.
But again, developing this afternoon, the Supreme Court said those full payments do not need to go out. They will just be partial payments in November. See how people in the Triad are helping families in need from their own front yard. That's coming up at 11 o'clock. Happening right now, another major impact from the government shutdown. Looking at PTI's website, we're starting to see some flights be canceled and more delayed. This comes after an FAA mandate to cut up to 10% of flights at 40 major airports across the country. Now, PTI is not one of those airports, but there is a trickle-down effect. It's part of an effort to ease pressure on air traffic controllers who are working without pay. By this afternoon, American Airlines had canceled about 220 flights nationwide, while United Airlines says they've canceled 168. Delta canceled 158 and Southwest scrubbed about 100 flights. Here in Greensboro, PTI's airport responded to the emergency order yesterday, saying they are unaware at this time of what operational impacts may occur at PTI as a result of the emergency order issued by the FAA. Adding, we remain in communication with our airline and federal partners and will continue to monitor any developments. In our state, the biggest impacts are being felt at Charlotte Douglas International Airport. There are more than 400 delays and 100 cancellations. At one point this morning, they even had a full ground stop for all flights, meaning no planes were taking off. Some flights were seeing delays of up to an hour and a half. Charlotte Douglas officials said in part, with a prolonged federal shutdown, disruptions become more likely. The airline advises passengers to check their flight status with their airline often. They say you should also get to the airport at least 2 hours early. We are aware the holidays are approaching and you might have travel plans. For more information and updates to flights as the shutdown continues, head over to WFMYnews2.com. Today in High Point, a call to action to protect babies and moms. The Black Pearl Society Foundation hosted a silent march called They Didn't Have to Die. The organization called leaders to address the maternal and infant health crisis impacting Black families. The march started at the Rocker Stadium and ended with a human chain they called Hands Across Guilford County. Organizers say it's proof of solidarity and a reminder that mothers and babies deserve to live.
Recognize that has an impact on the larger community. So today is really about lifting this to the level of visibility and for families to come and give voice to that. So we're super energized and motivated about bringing people out publicly to say that enough.
The Black Pearl Society Foundation hopes the event inspires lasting change for families across Guilford County. And looking ahead to next week, Greensboro will host Safe Streets Week with events planned throughout the city. Over on our Facebook page, our Giselle Thomas posted a quick preview of what's to come.
The city of Greensboro is kicking off Safe Streets Week. Now that goes through November 10th to the 16th, and the theme this year is Slow Your Roll. Now this is all to raise awareness when it comes to traffic safety related accidents and also to prevent them. Two things to look out for. There's going to be a cone display that's going to be right outside of City Hall to honor the 49 lives that were lost last year due to traffic related incidents. Also, there's going to be a bicycle ride that's going to be taking place on the 16th.
Tonight, you might want to break out those winter coats because change is coming, Meg.
Oh yeah, you definitely need to dust them off because we are going to have some cold temperatures coming up for Monday and Tuesday, but we got to talk about the possibility of some wet weather. In fact, it's sprinkling right now here in Greensboro. Let's take a look at the radar. You can start to see some of those rain showers starting to pop up right along this line here, but we've been watching down in South Carolina where there have been some severe thunderstorms, but we're starting to see those scattered showers across the area, very light as I'm in one right now, but the severe thunderstorm risk is really down to South Carolina and just barely grazes our southern portions of the viewing area. So that includes Montgomery County and very far southern portions of Randolph County as well, for the possibility of a few severe thunderstorms. Obviously, heavy rain and strong winds is a big concern. 5% chance for hail and just a 2% chance of a risk of a small tornado. Coming up for tomorrow, we'll wake up to some foggy conditions, just like what we saw this morning, but temperature is very nice and mild, low 70s. Enjoy it while it lasts, because big changes are on the way thanks to this cold front that's going to move through tomorrow. Behind it, much colder air straight from the northwest, and not only is it going to be cold, it's going to be windy as well. So that means wind chill is going to be a factor as well. Weather impact days for Monday and Tuesday, thanks to those cold temperatures and windy conditions as well. And by Tuesday morning, we could be below freezing for those morning temperatures. So let's take you throughout the day tomorrow. Mostly dry, a few isolated showers in the afternoon as the actual cold front moves through. Mountain snow showers, but we are not going to be seeing any snow showers where we are. Maybe a few flurries, but it will have no impact here on the Piedmont Triad in terms of our weather. We are going to feel that cold, not only in form of temperatures, but windy gusts as well. It's going to be breezy tomorrow, but also on Monday and Tuesday, and that coincides with those cold temperatures. So wind chill will be a concern for those 2 days as well. We'll take a look at your 7-day forecast, where those weather impact days for Monday and Tuesday, but it's short-lived because we're back into the 60s for Wednesday.
Today, though, the weather was great as the city of Greensboro honored local heroes with the annual Veterans Parade. It all started on North Elm Street downtown and recognized local Purple Heart recipients, along with veterans from World War II, the Korean War, and Vietnam. Gold Star and POW families were also acknowledged for the sacrifices made by their loved ones, all ahead of Veterans Day on Tuesday. Attendees say it's a chance for the community to come together and remember the impact of those who serve.
People don't realize how seriously it affects the vets, because even as we get older, still we have issues going on too. You know, it's not as bad as some, but a lot of people forgot that how people serve the country and what all they went through.
The 20th chapter of the Disabled American Veterans sponsored the parade. It included local high school marching bands, military vehicles, and some pretty cool floats. A growing number of veterans across the country are turning to novel therapies in their mission to find peace. That includes psychedelic-assisted therapy for PTSD. The alternative approach is starting to gain some momentum, including U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs funded research trials.
Something that I dove headfirst into and never looked back.
Veteran Navy SEAL Marcus Capone always answered the call.
SEAL Team 10 and Naval Special Warfare Development Group, and multiple combat tours to both Afghanistan and Iraq.
Serving until physical and mental wounds of war took their toll.
Went to see the psych and he said, you know, Marcus, you're the 200th guy that's come in here. I assume it's from going down range, but you know, I really don't know how to take care of this at the moment.
Marcus tried different doctors, medicines, and therapy, but things only got worse until 2017, when his wife Amber approached him with a Hail Mary, psychedelic-assisted therapy.
Honestly, I thought it was crazy.
After research and seemingly out of other options, Marcus decided it was worth traveling outside the U.S. to a clinic in Mexico, where the legal but unregulated psychedelic ibogaine is combined with therapy and medical monitoring.
My life completely changed. I did a 180. I felt again. I feel like I haven't felt anything in years. I was able to be, human again.
This therapy isn't for everyone, and there are different approaches. Some use ibogaine, LSD, ketamine, or MDMA to enhance the effectiveness of talk therapy and help patients reprocess traumatic memories.
Most of our standard psychiatric medications are meant to suppress symptoms. Psychedelics used in this way are not meant to suppress symptoms. They're meant to help people get in touch with and process.
Dr. Barbara Rothbaum has been pioneering PTSD treatments for decades, including an ongoing Department of Defense-funded study looking at effects of combining MDMA with therapy that helps patients gradually confront trauma.
It's not MDMA like kids are going to get in the clubs. People are monitored, they're screened to make sure it's safe for them to take it. They've got a lot of safety conditions, and it's combined with a lot of therapy.
Right now, except for a few exemptions, possession of psychedelics is a federal crime. But the tides may be changing when it comes to medical treatment, with possible support of Veterans Affairs Secretary Doug Collins.
We're opening up the possibility of psychedelic treatment and others that give us an opportunity. We got to research it, make sure it's good.
While several states have passed bills supporting research into psychedelic therapy, it could be years before a federally approved treatment is available.
We shouldn't be fighting a war for our country and then when we come home have to travel outside the country to receive treatments.
In Washington, Michael Yoshida.
A lot going on in weather over the next 4 days. Let's talk about right now. We're starting to see some isolated rain showers, possibility of some thunderstorms, mainly in the southern portion of the Piedmont Triad, and can't rule out the risk of a severe thunderstorm. Tomorrow, though, nice day, a little bit of fog in the morning, 72 in the afternoon, and then cold temperatures for Monday and Tuesday. It's going to be chilly and it's going to be windy, so it's going to feel that much colder as well.
But at least for right now, you're out of the rain, back from the weather garden.
I'm back. That's live weather for you.
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you right back here at 11 o'clock.